Welcome back to another edition of Max and Nicky 1000 Time Reactions,
where we react to a song after listening to it for our 1000th time.
We release 3 videos a day,
every day,
so make sure to hit that subscribe button
and ding that post notification bell
so you don't miss out on all our content. So what are you going to listen to right now, Max?
We're going to listen to Operator, That's Not the Way It Feels, in parentheses, by Jim Croce.
It's a song we would hear a lot on the radio growing up, especially when we were in high school, on the oldie stations.
Well, oldies, I wouldn't call this an oldies, because
it's 70s. Yeah, I don't know what you call it, but anyway.
Well, you call it, that kind of early 70s folk.
It's a great song. If you're new to the channel, what we do here is we listen to the song all the way through without stopping so as not to disrupt the intention of the artist. And then afterward, we'll talk about a reaction, go into some in-depth analysis, and maybe talk a little bit about the history of the song and the artist, if we should know it.
We'd also like to mention that we have another YouTube channel called Max and Nicky, on which we perform oldies tunes, jazz standards, and some originals in that vein. And we got comedy videos on there as well. But for right now, let's take a listen to Operator by Jim Croce. Operator, That's Not the Way It Feels, sorry, in parentheses, by Jim Croce.
For our 1000th time.
Here we go.
Operator, or could you help me place this call? See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. She's living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. Gosh, she said she knew well and sometimes hated. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels. Operator, but could you help me place this call? 'Cause I can't read the number that you just gave me. There's something in my eyes, you know it happens every time. I think about the love that I thought would save me. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels. No, 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 that's not the way it feels. Operator, oh, let's forget about this call. There's no one there I really wanted to talk to. Thank you for your time. Oh, you've been so much more than kind. You can keep the dime. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels.
Anyway, there you go. Operator by
Operator.
Jim Croce, huh? Mm-hmm. That's a good song. It's got some really cool finger picking on that, you know.
Yeah, he's got that. That was a thing that he's. A lot of late or early '70s. That was kind of a thing in the. I feel like there was a certain sound to folk music at that time. You had Cat Stevens that had a similar kind of sound.
James Taylor.
There was something.
America.
Yeah, I guess it almost had this sort of. Obviously, Cat Stevens is English, but there was something like Southern about it, if that makes sense.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right. There's something. It's got a Southern twang to it. Yes.
There's some kind of twang to it. Yeah.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's playing acoustic guitar with his songwriting partner in this recording. If I'm not mistaken, maybe I am, but they both actually tragically died in a plane crash.
Oh, both of them did.
Yeah.
I thought it was just Jim Croce. Okay.
I think both of them died.
Yeah, it's not
Maybe it
exactly
was
I guess it's. As I said, Cat Stevens is English, but there's some quality about it that differentiates that kind of folk music from, let's say Simon and Garfunkel, for instance, which is a little more folk rock, I guess, if you want to say.
I don't know if it's because of the mustache that he has, but Jim Croce, he looks a lot older than he actually was. When he passed away, he was fairly young, but his look seemed older.
Sure.
I guess it's the mustache. I don't know. Maybe people back then just looked older
Cat
at a younger
Stevens
age.
was, he looked older too, I would say,
Yeah,
that full-on beard.
No, actually, Cat Stevens looked younger. If you take away the beard, I think he looked younger.
No, but that's what I'm
Croce.
saying. I think it is the mustache.
But
Although
then again,
maybe he did
there
look
was,
older.
Remember, we watched that movie Strangers on a Train fairly recently during the quarantine, and the lead sort of antagonist of the film, he was only like 32.
Really?
And
He looks like he's
he
in
looked
his
like he was
40s.
like 50 years old.
Well, I don't know about 50, but his 40s for sure. But it's a stylistic thing, I think. When Cheers, the show, began,
we're really going off topic here, but
Ted, all those guys, they were in their early to mid 30s.
sure.
And some might say they looked that age, but I don't know, man. Cliff, John Ratzenberger, they did look older. I'm sorry. They
They
look
look
like
older
they were,
than they would be in their 30s, that's for sure.
At least older than what people in their 30s look today, I feel.
Sure.
At least in their early to mid 30s, there's something, I guess, younger. Again, they did an experiment I saw.
It's a generational thing.
Yeah, I saw there's an experiment.
Well, you don't need to
Oh,
talk
we're
about
getting off topic, but I think if you dress people differently and maybe stylize them a little bit differently, they would look younger.
Anyway, let's get back to the song. There's a lot of cool finger picking going on in it, but there's also a cool piano going on that also gives it sort of that country. It's almost like some kind of
it has
honky
this-
tonk thing.
Well, not honky tonk. Yeah, kind of a style.
Upright,
but honky
kind of.
tonk actually, apparently is just. It refers to something that is a little more an out of tune kind of piano,
Sure.
but it has that upright piano feel, which is something you would see maybe in, the mythology of a bar in the South or something like
Sure.
that.
But there's also a real nice groove and bass line going on in the song. It's pretty thick bass too. It's right in the middle. Even
Well,
though
I
the
wouldn't
drums
call it.
don't-
I wouldn't call it a bitty thick bass. No, I wouldn't say that.
I would say that.
I wouldn't say that. I think it's a
would.
pretty. It's not thin. It's a resonant bass, but I wouldn't call it thick. I wouldn't say it's booming or anything.
I didn't say it was booming. I said it was thick.
Yeah, but when you say thick, that kind of to me implies not necessarily booming, but something that is.
Okay, let's
kind of
just say this. It
very
has a
thick.
very warm tone to it.
Well, actually, but it's very clear though. I wouldn't.
A bass that's warm doesn't have to be necessarily not decipherable. It's a distinct bass that has a very warm feel to it.
It has a warmth to it, but yet I feel that they probably added a little bit of brightness to it so that it can be more, you can distinguish its melody a little bit more.
Okay,
I feel that way.
I don't think.
Trust me, it sounds like it doesn't sound like the treble knob was turned all the way down on the bass.
I didn't say it was.
Well, that's
I didn't say it was.
well, the treble knob was what would create a little bit more brightness.
I didn't know. I
I'm
actually
just
don't.
saying.
I didn't feel like it was bright. I felt like it was very clear, but very warm.
Yes, but that's what I'm trying to say is a treble knob, if it's turned all the way down, that would cause something to be, more of a mellow sound.
Yes, but it would also make the notes less decipherable.
Exactly.
But I felt like you're
what I'm
forget
trying
it.
to say.
This is well, it's something.
Splitting
This
hairs.
is not worth arguing over right now.
Well, people are interested, maybe.
We're arguing over semantics, really. Actually,
No, we're not actually. We're arguing over how we perceive something.
No, I think we perceived it the same way, but we're just describing it differently.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It's interesting that the drums are on the right side too, but the bass is in the center. That's an interesting choice,
Wait, what? Say it again?
It's interesting that the drums are on the right, but the bass is in the middle. That's
That
an
is
interesting
interesting.
choice.
Yeah, that is an interesting
in
choice.
today's modern production, usually you'll have the drums and the bass in the middle, but
Well, I think probably because I think that was a distinct choice because this is a folk song, and I think they didn't want that. Having the drums in the middle would make it a little bit more, a little bit bigger sounding, maybe. And I think they wanted to keep it more soft, and that's why the drums. Actually, I think it sounds like there was brushes playing. Actually, the drums.
Sure.
And so I think they wanted to not put that as have that much focus on the drums, or otherwise that made one get in the way of the intimate quality of it.
he's got a great voice, Jim Croce. It's very soothing. But the lyrical content is really good. If you were paying attention to the lyrics, it's pretty sad, but also just, were you paying attention?
Sort of.
So he says operator, he's trying to have the operator place a call for him to
Sure.
his ex-girlfriend,
Oh,
I
I
guess,
see. That's
who is basically with his ex-best friend, Ray.
Oh, is
They-
that what's happening?
they,
I was trying to pay attention to more of the production actually a little bit, but
Well, that's why I was smiling a lot because the lyrics are really good.
no, but yeah, okay.
So his best friend Ray essentially stole his girlfriend, and throughout the song, he's trying to convey that he wants to place this call, but he can't get himself to place the call, and he's telling the operator that he wants to place the call so that he can tell his ex-girlfriend that he's over her. But throughout the song, you can tell that he's not over her. He's not over the blow, Is that
Right.
is how-
That's not the way it feels.
that he says he wants to tell her that he's over the blow, but that's not true,
It's interesting here. Giving her a call would mean that he's over her. So actually speaking to this person would mean that he's over her.
Right.
But he can't. But
But
not
at
only
the-
that,
by
but
the end of the song-
the end, he says you can keep the 5 cents
the dime.
or the dime rather, even though he didn't place the call. It's kind of interesting.
Well, he's saying that. Well, it's funny because in the second verse, I think he's talking about how can you place this call? I can't remember. I can't read what you wrote. What you had told me the phone number was, because his eyes are so teary-eyed. Actually, is that he needs them to place the call for him, and which is interesting.
Yeah, I kind of was picking up on that a little bit, but I wasn't quite sure because
So he's really not over it, but at the end, I don't know. I guess he might realize it's better to not place the call, because at the end he does tell the operator, "Don't place this call. Thanks for just listening to me." Essentially, He's
Right.
talking to the operator the whole time. It's kind of a cool song, I mean, it's a really, the lyrics are great, I think.
operator though, that is a bygone thing,
Yeah.
Although I guess that's not necessarily true. You can still press 0 and get an operator, right?
Sure. I mean, when we were younger, we'd use the payphone all the time. Do 1-800-collect,
But that's not.
and then we would tell our mom, pick us up from
Yada
school.
baby, it's a boy.
Yeah, pick us up from school and don't accept the charge.
This is John. Yada baby, it's a boy.
But great song. Do you want to say any last words about it?
No, I think that's all. I mean, Jim Croce, he got some good finger picking there.
Yeah. Tragically passed before his time.
Finger picking good.
I think that'll do it for this reaction video. If you like what you heard and saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ding that post notification bell to find out about more Max and Nicky reaction videos.
Please keep tuning in.